In this video, you're going to learn how to pronounce O and A like a pro. Or, as I like to put it, you are going to learn how to talk about your grandparents and have Brazilian people understand you perfectly. So before we jump into that, I remind you to please subscribe to my channel and activate the notifications, alright? So you never miss another one of these lessons again, because they're free, and let's face it, they're awesome. So let's jump right into it. This is a very common question I get from my students, especially when they're learning how to talk about family members, because when you're talking about your family, you are probably going to mention your grandparents, and you're probably going to use the words avô and avó, which are grandfather and grandmother, right? By the way, we also say we actually use more of the word the words vô and vó when we're speaking, because they're like contractions of the real words avô and avó. But yeah, first of all, let's take a look at the sounds of the two different O's, right? So the first one is this one, which has a little thing on top of it, and that's the open sound of the O, in Portuguese. You can find this in a lot of words, like like cobra, like ordem, like poste, like só, and many others. And this other one, which has the thing on top of it, that's the closed O, right? And you can also find this one in a lot of Portuguese words, like oi, like obrigado, like onda, and that kind of stuff. So let's discuss the difference between those, because that's very different for us Brazilians. And if you say, if you're trying to say avô and avó and you can't distinguish between the sounds, you can say one thing and we can't understand the other thing. So that's why it's important for you to know the difference between the closed and the open O in Portuguese. First of all, let's take a look at this one, because this is the simpler one. That's the open O, and that's easier because a lot of English words, they have this sound, right? So that's the short O sound, and you can find it in words like, top, or not, or dog, or, order, olive, and that kind of stuff. So that's very simple. If you want to say this word, that's easy. You just say avó and you use the short O sound, which is our open O sound. Avó, avó, avó. So things get a little trickier when you go to the closed O sound, because, it's not quite like the long O. You don't really have this sound in English. So it is not the same as pro, or like hold, or go, or gold, or code, and that kind of stuff. It's different. So how can you say this if you don't have an English word that sounds similar to this? How can you learn this sound? Well, that is when, my friends, we use Yiddish. Alright? And don't worry, you probably know the sounds that I'm about to say. But we are going to use a Yiddish expression that sounds just like our closed O. And that expression, is the oi vei. And oi vei, that first sound that you say, that's basically the Portuguese closed O. Oi. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this expression, say it out loud, oi vei, and then you are going to stop as soon as you say that first O sound, like oh, and tá freaking dá, you sound Brazilian. That's it, very simple. So let's apply this to this word, which is the one that we're trying to learn here, which is avô. And what I want you to do, if you can't do it like right now, avô, one thing that's gonna make this easier to learn is to just, first of all, you get this, you take this whole expression here and you just say it out loud. Avoivei, avoivei. And then what you're gonna do is you're going to, ignore the last part and just say avô, avô, avoivei, avô. And that's it. You got this. I know you could do it. I've always believed in you, and now you can do it. So just to recap, let's take a look at the differences in these two types of O. The first one to your left is the open O sound, which you can find in avó, and we just say it like that. It's just like the short O, avó. And the second one, the one to your right, is the closed O sound, and that sounds like Yiddish. That sounds like oivei, so avô. And that's pretty much it. I hope this video helps you. It's simple stuff, but it's gonna make a lot of difference in your pronunciation. You'll sound much more Brazilian if you pronounce it like that. Last thing is, of course, I will shamelessly remind you to subscribe to my channel and to activate notifications. And if you like this video, you can hit the like button. If you don't like this video, you can just, get out of here. Don't hit that dislike button. No one likes people who do that. So yeah, feel free to like this video and share it with your friends. I hope I see you again in the next lesson. Bye bye.